Hey, what's good everybody? I'm your gracious, somewhat inebriated host, Sweetwater Sam, and this is the first of many episodes in a series called What Are We Drinking? As the name suggests, we're going to be testing out some adult beverages that I think deserve a little bit more attention than they're getting. Maybe pique your curiosity a bit and help you find something worth filling up those already overcrowded liquor cabinets. Today we're going to be testing out Gekkeikan's Nigori-style sake. And if you think I'm moving a bit too fast, then I encourage you to pause the video so you can soak in all the information I provided here on your screen. Trust me, it's all very fascinating. Also, I welcome any constructive criticism and honest feedback you may have to offer. Just please remember to be considerate of other people's feelings, including my own. I can be very sensitive, alright? And the trolling and harassment will not be tolerated. So please take a seat, pour yourself a tall one, stick around and see my thoughts on this product and if it's worth taking a shot. Bottoms up. Now, the first thing I want to say about this product is that while it is considered a lower tier sake, I think you still get a lot of value out of it, especially if you're a light drinker or if you're just hesitant to spend your money on something that you may not like. It's only a 10-ounce bottle, or 300 milliliters if you're on the metric system, for about $6 to $8. Typically. So if you don't enjoy the first couple of sips, you're not even out $10 really. So this is really a good price point for those who are wanting to try out sake for low risk or just on a budget. And which really is what makes this content doable in the first place. Because if you couldn't tell from the lighting arrangement here, I gotta keep my overhead costs as low as possible. But hey, you could always slide your boy the shy Lincoln over at my Patreon so that way I can get the adequate lighting a content creator like myself desperately deserves. Let's drink. Now, as mentioned before in the video, this is a course-filled sake. It is referred to as a Nigori or cloudy style. And it doesn't get that name for nothing. Right here, you just see me rotating the bottle, shifting all those rice particles that get left in the bottom of this course-filled sake. And I'm really just taking my time with it because I really enjoyed it. It really has like a kind of hypnotic, almost lava lamp type vibe. Maybe I'll slow it down, do a little slow-mo, so y'all can really just kind of feel what I'm feeling in anticipation of enjoying this fine drink. And this drink it's really light, it's refreshing, and even though those really fine rice particles are ever present in the sake, I think that because they really just melt in your mouth, that it helps to enrich the texture and the flavor profile overall of this sake, and just really make it enjoyable. As I said earlier, you get a lot of bang for your buck. And now, I'm not one of these snobs who's going to tell you that I taste all of these nuanced flavors, that, oh, I'm getting aroma of cucumber and honeydew and hibiscus that's been, petted by the buds of premature honeybees or something silly like that. It is just really a good drink. It's really balanced as far as I can tell. It's considered at the far end of the sweetness scale as far as sakes are concerned. And even though I haven't had that many sakes, this one to me seems to be one of the more balanced ones. Because I've definitely had some way too sweet sakes, and I've had mimosas, I've had Long Island iced teas, I've had Moscatos, and I'm a person who enjoys sweets, and I cannot stand. Well, I used to love the Long Island iced tea. I used to kill those, but now I can't stand it. But they really just kind of harass the taste buds for hours on end and just really don't let go. And plus, as I mentioned before, you're going to catch a decent buzz off of this. It's only a 10-ounce bottle, yes, but it's 10% alcohol by volume. Just for reference, the average beer is between 4 and 8%, wine 12 to 16%, and then of course liquor can will range from the lower double digits to pure ethanol, aka sudden death. And so due to these qualities, I think this sake, really just sake in general, is really ideal for summertime, or just when you want to get day party drunk, or let's really keep it real here, just daytime drunk in general. Now look, remember to drink responsibly, please. We don't want anybody getting hurt, in pursuit of just having a good time. Alright, if you're tipsy, call a ride share for you and your obnoxious friends. Head over to the nearest diner for that late afternoon breakfast. Be over friendly with the waitstaff, over tip them, but still make it home in time so that you can enjoy yourself a whole grown ass nap just to wake up for dinner. Now, I don't know about you, that's what I call good adulting right there. As far as the process goes into making sake, it's really quite similar to that of other alcoholic drinks, where you have a base grain or fruit like barley, grapes, or corn, and you prepare it in a way so that its starch content can be converted into sugars, and from sugars into alcohol with the aid of yeast. What makes sake unique, aside from the use of rice as its base starch, is the mold spore known as koji. So after the rice has been milled and the outer portions of the rice kernel have been removed to the distillery's preference, the rice will be steamed, and then the koji will be added so that those starches will be converted into sugars, forming a sweet rice. You then take the sweet rice, you add in the water and the yeast, you cook that up, and the resulting sugars will be converted into alcohol. You strain the liquid from the rice particles, or in the case of this Nigori-style, you don't, and voila, you have yourself a sake. And now we gotta talk about the fandom. Now, just as with anything else people like, with sake, there's plenty of gatekeeping around what's considered a good or bad product. And one long-held conviction is that premium sakes are best served cold, while budget sakes should be served warm. This conception comes from the long history of bootlegging in the United States, especially during the Prohibition era, when serving warm sake was thought to hide impurities of the bathtub brew served to customers. And no, I'm not talking about that bathroom brew. Whoever is drinking that, if they are, that is beyond nasty. Now, from my experience, that doesn't actually make sense. I find that when I'm drinking warmer beverages or something even at room temperature like coffee, tea, or even a bowl of soup, that the flavor profile is way more pronounced than if it's served even slightly chilled. And if it's just frigid cold, then I really can't taste anything. Now, this sake is suggested to be served chilled, but I did let it sit out for a few minutes so that way it's still a little bit cooler than room temperature, but just not, just not overly cold, because I want to be able to enjoy the different flavors that are present in the drink. Okay, one more quick thing. Do not put this sake in the freezer, all right? Unless you want to end up with a sake slushy, which, sounds pretty dank, but isn't the optimal way to enjoy this beverage. The minimum threshold for alcoholic drinks to not freeze is between 25 and 30% or 50 to 60 proof. And so this is shy by a wide margin. I don't know of any sakes, they might exist, I don't know, that exceed or meet the threshold for not freezing. So if you happen to find them, please let me know. But as far as I know, yeah, this you do not want to put this in the freezer. Right. Now, the quality of sake, just as with any other product, it's going to vary dramatically. There's between 70 to 80 types of sake rice available, in addition to different qualities of water, yeast, and koji milk. So it's going to take a bit of experimentation to figure out what satisfies your palate and what you wouldn't even use in your bathroom sink with. From what I've read, sakes generally fall between one of two broad categories: Junmaishu, which strictly uses those 4 key ingredients I just listed: rice, yeast, water, and koji mold; and Honjojoshu, which has distilled alcohol added to it. The grade of sake is in part based on the amount of the rice kernel left after the milling process. This often means that a sake made with rice that has to be milled to a higher percentage will be more expensive, as it requires more of that rice to make a single batch. But this doesn't always correlate to higher quality, as you can always mask impurities with sweeteners, aromatics, and other fillers. So to wrap things up, I've only been drinking sakes now for a handful of years, maybe a few years, and this is one sake that I continuously go back to and keep in my rotation. And it's for all the reasons that I've stated before. It is a good price point, it has a good alcohol by volume, especially for the total volume in the 10-ounce bottle, and it's really just well balanced in its texture and in its flavor. I have really no complaints. I enjoy the experience of it, even just as you saw earlier, just twirling the bottle around. Like every part of Gekkeikan's Nigori-style is very enjoyable. And so I would encourage you to give sakes a second look. If you're wanting to enjoy an adult beverage, to take a break from a beer, wine, or traditional liquor or cocktail, and you're feeling a little brave and you don't mind being out $6 to $8, then I would highly encourage you to check out the Gekkeikan's Nigori-style sake. And I'm going to give this a grade of 4 me another, homie. All right. This has been Sweetwater Sam. Please feel free to leave a comment if you have something nice to say. If you don't have nothing nice to say, I would prefer that you attach your nasty comment to a donation over at my Patreon.